Nobody's gonna bring my style. No one's gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Nobody's gonna bring my style. No one is gonna slow me down. Oh no, I've got to keep on moving. Beautiful people, let me tell you something. You see, after Reverend Dr. the Honorable Andrew, Rudolph, Blitzen, Santa, Clark, Claus, Michael, St. Patrick Holness gave his, I call it his inaugural address. I have to say it that way, my beautiful people, regarding the budget debate. Believe you me, I was almost at a loss for words. He spoke in totality for 5 hours, from 2 to 2:30, then there was that hiatus, and then from 4 to 8:30 p.m., 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And I sat in and I listened in keenly and intently. And believe you me, people, I can neither, in the words of this comedian, speak, spoke, nor spark. I don't even know what to say. I'm so discombobulated. Believe you me, Santa Claus came to town with his goodies bags, or his goodies bag. But unfortunately, some of us was unable to benefit from that goodies bag. That's the reality, my beautiful people. Some of us, unfortunately, we seemingly were not privy to the wonderful goodies, perhaps wonderful goodies, in the bags or in the bag. One of the beautiful things, though, that I must commend, I believe in giving to Caesar what is due unto Caesar. Yes, tuition fees will be removed up to levels 4 for the heart trainings, which, the level 4 is equivalent to an associate degree. I didn't know. I didn't. That's good, because in early days I used to think it was just a skills, on the basis of physical, skills, your own talents and abilities. But to know that the training goes all the way up to an associate degree, that's very good. Can offset some of your costs. If you should move on, which I would encourage anyone to a bachelor, then you can go into masters and a PhD, which I want to do. The only problem that I had with this speech, my beautiful people, is that up to now, I really have not heard, somewhat moderately, let's put it that way, a comprehensive speech on salaries in lieu of public sector workers. I'm just wondering if there is. One of the questions, in fast forwarding, I want to ask, is it that glue is on your hands? And when I say you, again, I'm not talking specifically the Prime Minister, but under whomever portfolio it would be in terms of paying out salaries. Is glue on your hands, beautiful people, where you don't want to release more monies to the public sector workers so that they're able to pay, now that the minimum wage has gone up, effective in June of this year? Some of the things were effective as at April 1 or as of April 1 of this year as well. So why is it that you don't want to release money so that they can successfully manage? Because some of them have to pay, helpers and so on, those that cut the lawn for them, cut the place for them, whatever it may be. And they have to be able to match up to this increase. I'm happy that you've increased slightly for pensioners. 3,000 to 4,200, or one of them is 1,700 to 3,500, depending on the level that they're at, based on the nature of their job when they were working during their work life. And you said that people, unemployment is at 6%. But however, there is a labor shortage, and you understand why there is labor shortage. One, it's either persons not applying for jobs anymore because they realize it is not working out. They're not getting through, and I cannot, and I can second that. Or two, they're migrating because they cannot manage the low wages or the low pay. And I found, they always say that attitude determines your altitude. Now I can play devil's advocate. I don't even like using that word with me, Me and Satan we're arch enemies. There's enmity between the two of us. In other words, will never ever be reconciliation. If though we were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. Indirectly, once you're outside of Christ, you serve the devil. So I don't even like to think on that. But attitude determines your altitude. We have to really break that down and dissect it, because I have seen people on poor performance being promoted, not with the requisite skills, being promoted because they were liked as an individual. And you wouldn't, and one would say, oh, maybe they had a good attitude. Not necessarily so, because I've seen people with good attitude, good morale, ethical, morally upright, very competent. They have the ability, but out of jealousy and envy in a malicious and a malignant way, they were never promoted. They were kept at the same level. Let us go into the book of Daniel, chapter 4, where Daniel, the Bible talked about how brilliant he was and that his superiors were jealous of him, and they were the ones who instigated for him to go into the pit, the lion's den. Beautiful people. So we have to now dissect when you say attitude determines your altitude. Remember that there is a devil. He did not lose his power. He did not lose his anointing. They only became corrupt. So still he has the ability to do many things here, which he still does. He promotes people too. So not every seeming blessing is a blessing from God. So my question to the powers that be that would pay public sector workers, are the right persons in the right position currently? Are the right people in the right positions currently? Or is it just, why I'm a friend that, I'm a kumbolo, I'm a auntie, I'm a uncle? I'm just asking a question, I am just asking. Because in some organizations under the public sector regime, they're misfits. But because they're not yes men and yes women, and I'm not talking about being disrespectful, but they're good workers, ethically sound, morally upright, and they have the ability, they have the capability, they are not tardy. You don't find absenteeism, being the order of the day where they are concerned, and still they're kept at bay. People understand that jealousy and envy is real. So labor shortage, I'm not surprised. People say it makes no sense. They've sent out myriads of resumes that were done well and still have not gotten a job because it was kept for a friend or a family member. Nepotism is the order of the day. My goodness, there's so many things to talk about. Beautiful people. I'm big on infrastructure, and I agree with you. Infrastructure is one of the keys to quality of life, not the only. So you can have pretty roads built all day long, pretty buildings put up, and people from overseas come and they reside there and all of that. But 3/4 of your people are suffering financially. It is not improving the quality of their life. Improve the pockets. The pocket them too short. Now, let me clarify this and put this clause in. These people have to be very good stewards of their own monies, meaning managers. They have to manage their money wisely and bring in increase. Don't get me wrong, But again, for the majority, most people were not taught financial literacy. Maybe perhaps their predecessors didn't even know how to do it, or maybe they did not want to because they never want the next man to understand how to get a whole pie instead of a 5% pie. I don't know. My goodness, you said the PNP in between 2012 to 2016 issued only 3,805 land titles, but I don't remember the exact figure because I kind of was moving off a little bit. But in 1 year, the JLP said you issued over, call it nearly 6,000 titles, and over 10,000 Jamaicans in over 2 years received their titles. All right, good. You made sure right after to say we are not the government of chaka chaka. But that is how the public sector workers feel about their salaries. Why is it that it only on the lower end of the lowest end of the spectrum, contract workers were promoted to permanent workers as opposed to even the middle? Why is it, sir? Just quick question. Why is that the middle? Like when you have middle manager sort of a thing forgotten. You said $20 million for the purchase of water tanks? All right. Okay, good. You're trying to correct the water problem. We really shouldn't have a water problem. And I saw a lady on television talking that you can pull waters from the sea, just have the right equipment, and everywhere would be fine. Just fix the piping, the infrastructure, and all of that. And we should not have the land of wood and what? water, the land of wood and what? Follow me on TikTok, my beautiful people. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this. I'm going to do another part.